My name is John.
And John, we're talking, folks, about elder abuse and how our system, our whole system, medical system, is making elders to be zombies with pharmaceuticals, putting them in nursing homes and warehousing them, and taking away their fortunes, particularly if they're rich. If you're rich, I ask all people that have a lot of money to watch what is going to be happening to you and how your children may play a role in this because they want your estate. And so this is what's happening in Santa Barbara under so-called conservatorships. Beware of anyone that comes to your door or your hospital bed and tells you they'll pay your bills for you and they'll take care of you until you recover, because they put you under conservatorship, they spend your money, and they won't allow you to spend your own money when you recover. So this is another story of someone who had that experience. John, why don't you tell us what happened with you?
Oh, about 8 years ago, the Santa Barbara Public Guardian viciously took over my dad, drugged him up, and just basically took everything he had, $500,000, and sold his house. And they actually charged him over $10,000 a month to stay in his very own house. They took it out of his bank account to live in his own house. So that to me is definite thievery.
Speak up.
Okay.
All right. So now tell us the circumstance. How did they just knock on his door and take his house? I mean, that's not possible, is it?
Well, he's got Parkinson's, and he was doing a few things that he shouldn't have, and the neighbors had called adult protectives on him. And so a woman, Stacy Wright, wound up coming over, and within probably a month and a half, just took him over and got a hold of all of his assets.
Instead of allowing his children to take care of him, weren't you able to?
Well, I tried. I was living up in Washington State, and they had gotten control of everything that he had before I could get down, or before my dad could come up there to Washington. He wanted to get away from it, these people.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't quite happen that way. The court system seems to move pretty rapidly concerning these things. So
I see. So you had so in other words, you didn't even know this was happening to your dad. Is that correct?
I didn't know it was happening until their paperwork was already started.
I see. And at that point, what did you try to do to prevent it?
I tried to get my dad to move up to Washington, which he wanted to do, and he wanted to get away from these people, but we waited too long, and the Santa Barbara Public Guardian got a hold of him, and so it was just too late. They found out he had money and an estate, and it's pretty much clear after that what they've done. They've kept him drugged up ever since.
And
he almost died under their care about 4 years ago because of the over-medicating.
Mm-hmm. They gave him the wrong medication?
He was just neglected in another...
in a rest home or what?
Another care facility, the abiding care. He was neglected so badly that he just lost all this weight, and he was drugged up, and he was in Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital for about 3 weeks. And
so is he now a poor man? Is his fortune all taken away from him? The house sold? What happened?
They sold the house, about 1.5 years ago, so I'm not sure what they've actually got left of that.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't given fair market value for his house. I found out it was a minimum of $100,000 short they gave him for the house, and
mm-hmm.
Who knows what they do in their real estate deals when they give my guess is they give their friends special preference over that. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm sorry to hear it. So where is your dad now?
He's at Mission Villa over on Mission Street.
Mm-hmm.
I went to see him a few days ago, and he's not even able to communicate. It's just he talks, but none of it makes any sense.
You know, in my experience, I do have a friend that Prozac has really helped her a lot. Her husband died, and she wanted to commit suicide, and she just didn't want to live. And so the Prozac is pulling her through. But she's strong enough and well enough to know when to get off the Prozac, because when she was in high school she had to take Prozac because she also had the same tendency towards suicide. And Prozac is a drug that's known to make you want to have suicide and to commit suicide. And I told her that. But she said in her case it actually helped her to stop herself from thinking about suicide. So there are times when these drugs can help us. But the trouble is they're over-drugging, they're over-medicating. They're doing it as a ways and means instead of looking at alternatives and trying to help people who are depressed get out of their depression through friendship programs and things like that, you know.
I sure don't think the drugs are the way to go. The drugs just make it worse.
But in her case, I was surprised, and yes, it is making her that she doesn't commit suicide. So there are those people out there and those testimonials where unfortunately it does help, and it does work, but for other cases and it doesn't. And in your case with your father, it's destroyed his mind, and that's what it's doing to the most seniors that are taking these drugs. So what kind of strange behavior was he exhibiting that the neighbors intervened?
Oh, he was spending, 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning out running about the streets, and I guess he was carrying a couple thousand in his pocket and at a time. So that they said that, oh no, money was on the lawn. So, I guess he wasn't really keeping track of his, some of his situation there. Mm-hmm. Other stuff, but, he needed some help, but I don't think not to the extent that the public guardian's giving him with all the medication. So.
And they charged him $10,000 a year to stay in his own house?
$10,000 a month.
$10,000 a month?
Over
what?
$10,000 a month.
For what?
That's what they said he needed 24/7 care, which I know that he didn't, because I had left about 3 months before. I was visiting from Washington. I came down, and he seemed okay to take care of his affairs and all that, but shortly after, the public guardian got a hold of him, and I couldn't even speak with him on the phone. He made no sense, and he was in his own house at the time, and they had him on I'm not sure exactly what kind of medication at the time, but it was medication to where I couldn't communicate with him.
I'm so sorry. Well, that's one story, isn't it? Thank you so much, Adam.
All right.
Hello, I'm Patricia Rosen, and I'm here to tell you what happened to me that could happen to anybody. It was a terrible thing. Quite a few years ago, I was in an automobile accident. My husband was killed. I was hurt. I had to go to the hospital. When I was in the hospital, a lady came to me, and she seemed to be really nice and sympathetic. And she said, "Don't worry, I will take care of your home. I'll see that your utilities are paid. I'll see that everything is okay. I will be your conservator." Well, I didn't know what that meant, to have a conservator. I said, "Well, that's wonderful, thank you." I might have signed something because she seems so honest and such a nice person. Well, I found out what happened was because I signed that, she had half interest in my home, and also my husband's pension money, because she was my conservator, she was able to get it and use it. And this is what happens when you're under conservatorship. I didn't know what that meant. Again, I just thought that she was going to take care of me, make sure my utility bills were paid, and that would be the end of it. She sounded like such a trustworthy person. But as I said, she had it. She said this home is hers now. She told me that later. And what can I do about it? Well, I did go see an attorney who didn't help at all. And then I went to, let's see, what was her...
So what were the circumstances that finally got you out of conservatorship?
Well, I went to see the public guardian, and she said that she thought this was terrible, that she had clout with the judge, and she would see the judge and get me free, which she did. So she said, don't worry anymore about it, you're free now, don't worry about anything, and so be it. I was.
So the trustee, though, but the judge has somehow made it that you still do not have full control of your money. Luckily, apparently, you have your husband's pension money monthly that they can't touch,
right.
But they still are in control of your money in the bank, and that's under some kind of trustee, right?
It's under a trustee, right? And I can't use that money without the trustee okaying it. It has to be something that he considers worthwhile.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very, very difficult.
So yeah, so here in your old age, your husband, who worked all his life to give you a beautiful home for you and your children, and for you to spend the money how you feel, has been taken away from you, that privilege.
Yes.
And you made to feel that they don't feel confident in you. It's none of their business. Your money is none of their business.
None of their business.
But they have made it their business that you can no longer have control of how you want to spend your money. And I just think that this is what they're doing to competent elders all over. They're drugging us. They're putting us in rest homes. Now, if you were a homeless woman, they wouldn't be interested in coming to your door and making sure that you were taken care of.
That's right.
You know, these homeless women, these old elder homeless women are on the streets. We see them all over the place. I don't see conservators coming up to them and saying that they need to take care of them. So this is a money-making scheme that these judges in Santa Barbara particularly are in cahoots with. And John, the last interview, he mentioned a link here which I do want to have the viewers understand. So I'm going to bring him back here to the table to talk a little bit about that. Thank you so much, Patricia, for your warning here to the elderly community here in Santa Barbara. You live in Montecito, a very wealthy neighborhood, and they would just love to sell your home and put you in a rest home and then use that money for themselves. So beware, beware.
Beware. Absolutely. I was very fortunate to have a person who really cared, who talked to the judge and freed me. But not other people are fortunate as I was to be free. And I had a family that supported me too. My son was always there by me.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. John, we're back to you. What is the link here in Santa Barbara? Something you mentioned about the tax assessor. What is his role now in conservatorships?
Harry Hagan. He's the head of the public guardian conservatorships, and he's also the county tax collector, the guy that takes the money for your houses. So he's in charge of both of those, which is very suspicious, because he would know how old the person is that owns the house, if the house is paid off. And Stacy Wright, that started the Aging Well, a new company, her and Courtney DeSoto started this company. So my guess is that Harry Hagen tips her off, or tips those two off of Aging Well, their business, and that's how they get, you know, they run their company. I mean, who knows what goes on behind all that paperwork that they. But yeah, that's.
Well, you know, I have witnessed Patricia's case in court, and I was astounded how the judge did not allow her to say anything to the judge. And the way she was treated, that she was just a nonentity on the side, and they were talking about her as though she weren't even there in the court. And so, folks, they are taking away our rights, and as you get older, if you get mad, you're considered insane, and they put you on drugs. If you're rich, they're going to really try to take away what you have. If you're poor, they don't mind if you're on the streets. Then they're not interested in you, and that's something we've got to pay attention to. So I hope that you'll guard yourselves and rise up and start speaking out, because they're after you.
That was the point that was made earlier, is that if you have money, you don't have a choice on where you go, because the conservatorship, the public guardian, takes you over. If you don't have money, you have a choice. You can either be on the street or go down, they'll send you to an LA locked-up facility. So, I mean, what kind of a choice is that?
Right.
You know, it's,
yeah.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, it obviously points directly to the money.
Yeah,
you know,
it does.
These big business and all.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Adam. I mean, excuse me. Thank you, John. I don't know where I get that other name, but hold on. I've got.
Okay, Peggy, do you feel that you're being treated well here?
The opposite.
Are you happy here?
Sometimes I feel as if I don't want to be even live.
Why not?
It's when there's no freedom. I can't. The whole thing is just horrible.
Always loved life. This doesn't sound like you at all.
No, it isn't. It's not. At times I feel as if I'd rather be dead than to live here.
Well, Peggy, do you have money? Could you have money to live somewhere else?
Yes, I have money to live. If
What kind of living arrangements would make you happy?
They're talking about millions of dollars that they have, so it isn't a matter of lack of money.
So you're living here. Where would you rather be living?
In my own home, with a driver.
Well, the attorneys and the conservators are making quite a bit of money off of you, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They make a lot of money. So I assume that.
Now, what if you want to make a phone call or something? Do you have your own telephone?
No, I do not have my own telephone.
Well, won't they give you a cell phone or something if you ask them?
No, I have nothing.
Have you ever asked them for a cell phone?
I said I wanted a cell phone, but I hadn't directly asked for one.
Okay. Didn't you used to have a refrigerator in here with organic food in it?
Yeah, we took that away, and that probably was legitimate.
Okay.
Because that might be contrary to their regulations.
So you have money to have, but when you first moved in here, there was a
We're
refrigerator.
talking about $1 million or more in the money involved.
Okay, so
So it isn't a lack of money.
okay, so you feel you have money to live the lifestyle you're accustomed to living?
Or a lifestyle that's pretty posh. what word posh means?
Yes, so you could be living in high style.
Yes, I could be.
Not, you could have a nice house, you could have a garden, you could have someone to drive you around.
And I could have an array of friends.
Have your friends over.
Yeah. And be able to contribute to certain
What if I wanted to...
the organic movement.
Okay. So you could be involved in the organic movement.
Yeah, it would be.
You could go to the farmer's market every week.
Yeah, I would be involved with the organic program.
But right now, if you want to go down, say, to an organic restaurant, you say, I want to go to the farmer, the cook, for example, they're not going to allow you to do that?
I doubt it.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. It's been a while since you run out of organic food, huh?
Well,
yeah.
Or to get somebody to juice. Because I have a juicer.
But you don't have organic fruit and vegetables right now.
I have some.
Some.
Yeah.
But your diet is not mostly organic right now, correct?
It's not organic at all except whatever the juice is, and that's only recent that I got it. Because I got somebody to do the juicing. In most cases, they won't do the juicing.
Well, how often do you want to go out to, say, buy organic food or go out into the town?
I want to be able to do it, be free and make like the moment or the whatever, to go out and get things that are necessary, live a normal life.
Like you were before you were put under conservatorship.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, once you get under conservatorship, it's not easy to get off.
No, but they also, I have an attorney.
Yeah, who also, David Turpin, but he also works for the conservator, Suzanne McNeely.
Well, I don't know what his relationship is.
In some cases, he's representing he's the court-appointed attorney for the conservatee, meaning you. In other cases, he works for the conservator, representing them.
Well, I don't know whether it's a conflict of interest or not, but so far he didn't get it to be declared that the doctors, what's his name?
Chappelle
and Dr.
Bernhoft.
Bernhoff were my
Your attorney, and told your attorney that you want to eat like organic food and see the doctors of your choice?
not recently.
But you have.
Oh, yeah.
And you asked your attorney, did you tell your attorney that you wanted to go see Dr. Chappelle and Dr. Bernhoff?
Yes. Wait a minute, run that question by me.
You asked your attorney if you could go see Dr. Chappelle and Dr. Bernhoff?
Yeah, well, he declared that they were my doctors.
In court, you mean, that day? I was there. I remember the judge saying that you can have the kind of doctors you're comfortable with.
Well, he said that the two doctors there were both mine.
Well, I was there in court, and the judge said you're allowed to live that lifestyle you're accustomed to and see those kind of doctors. I even have a copy of the transcript. I believe the judge said Eastern doctors. But why are you not seeing Dr. Chappelle right now?
Well, I have, first of all, to see Bernhoff on that special program for, what do you call it?
Cleansing? Something like that? Chelation?
Chelation.
Okay, well, yeah.
I want to do that next.
Well, that's good. And you want to see Dr. Chappelle as well?
Yeah. There's no reason why I shouldn't.
Well, you can ask your attorney or you can ask your conservator. And I believe...
Well, I think I want access to both attorneys, both the doctors.
Yeah, well, that's up to you. Shouldn't it? I think that should be up to you.
Yeah.
Are those your kind of people, Bernhoft and Chappelle?
Yes, they are.
How do you feel about regular standard medical doctors who prescribe drugs and so forth? Are those your kind of people?
No, they're not. I have a fear of them.
So you were always into the natural food movement and
Yeah.
not, kind of anti-drug, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel that your beliefs are being respected?
No, not really, not adequately.
Well, you have seen Dr. Bernhoff. That's good.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to be more firm about seeing him this next time.
What about the Rincon? You told me that's your favorite place in the whole world to go, the beach down there, and your attorney said that somebody would drive you down there. I was there. We were after the court. We have witnesses to that. Are you going to the Rincon on a regular basis?
No, I'm not.
You love the Rincon.
Yes, I love the ocean. I love the Rincon in particular.
How many times? How often? How much in your life have you been on the Rincon?
I'm brought up on that ocean.
And you want to go down there?
Yes, I do.
If you went down there more often and you ate organic food and you got to go do things like community yoga, would you want to live again?
Yes, I would. Very much so.
You'd be happy.
Be happy.
But right now you feel you're not able to do those things.
No, I just feel as if I'm being trapped here.
So the Rincon, when's the last time you went to the Rincon?
I don't know, quite a few weeks.
Quite a few weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've lost track.
Well, I remember when you were free. You weren't locked up. I remember we took you down to the Rincon and you were getting around on the bus and you were completely free while John was under conservatorship. Now you've lost your rights, your basic rights. Do you feel kind of losing your constitutional rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? Do you feel that your constitutional rights are being violated?
Well, yes, they are, because I'm dependent on whether they can have a ride available and so on.
Do you ask them and then they just can't do it?
They can't. That's exactly it. You ask them, they can't do it, or they won't do it.
Okay. They won't do it?
Well, they won't make the effort.
But maybe their staff has a lot of work and they just don't have the staff to do it.
Yeah.
But your attorney said he was going to hire somebody to drive you.
What their motives are, I don't really know, but it's long overdue as to getting groceries.
Well, I think the people at the facility are well-meaning here. I think they're overworked and they just don't have the time. It's more the conservator, I think, that has your attorney who has the responsibility to make sure your needs and desires are met.
The others just carry out orders.
Because they seem very, very nice at this place, the people here.
But they're all under orders.
They're under orders, and they don't want to lose their jobs or their position.
That's the nature of the job.
Yeah, so I'm not going to blame the people here.
No.
They've been very, very kind to me.
Yeah.
And they seem like really nice, caring people. But they're under orders.
Yeah, and they do what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. So do you feel you're not having your life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness described in the Constitution as your right?
Oh, it's not even close.
Okay. This is a beautiful place, though, isn't it?
Not beautiful. It doesn't have your liberty, your freedom.
Okay. Well, you need your freedom. I guess we all do. It's sort of a basic human need. Well, I don't know what to say. It sounds pretty depressing. You've got a real serious problem here, Peggy. I'd be so upset if somebody took my freedom away from me.
Yeah.
Not good. Not good to say, Peggy.
Well, I have a fear of being stuck here and lose all my freedom.
How long have you been here?
I don't know. But it's hell on earth.
Can you have a vegetable garden here?
I don't want a vegetable garden here. I want my freedom. And it wouldn't be mine anyway. It's just taking care of whatever Deidre wants.
And you feel you have enough money in your estate to have your freedom?
We're talking about a million or millions of dollars involved. I'm not exaggerating.
Well, somebody's making a lot of money off of your estate.
Yeah, they can develop it in England.
And you're...
It's a 2,000 acre estate. And it's been diminished.
but they can develop it. And it's in the millions of dollars that you were talking about. Because when you get tied in with development or whatever, you're talking about big money. And that's how we have the problem in the first place.
I see a lot of homeless older women out on the streets. Nobody's putting them under conservatorship. Why do you think they're interested in having you under conservatorship?
The money.
And if you had no money, you'd be sleeping under the bridge or something.
Well, whatever. I'm a resourceful person, so I'll probably would be with somebody.
Because there are a number of homeless people have died from the cold over the years, and like Santa Barbara County, I saw that in the newspaper. But nobody's interested in their welfare. But when you get money, suddenly they're interested in your welfare. Is that true?
Well, whether they're interested in their welfare, they want to have control over your welfare. It's all about control.
Well, thank you very much for this.